always pulling the ball out from Charlie Brown. I don't know why people like to laugh at Charlie Brown because his life sucks. I don't find it very funny. But you have Calvin Hobbes, where a very pervasive joke throughout the Calvin Hobbes series is snowmen. Bill Watterson likes to work with snowmen. However, instead of, say, having a similar outcome each time, where Garfield is grumpy about Mondays, or Lucy tortures this poor innocent young boy, you have a greater variance amongst the snowman cartoons. For example, the one I showed you previously in this slideshow depicted Calvin's Snowman House of Horrors, whereas you have this one in which Calvin's dad is commenting upon the grotesque nature of his creations. Interestingly, in case you wanted to know, Calvin's dad and Calvin's mom do not have names. Bill Watterson never chose to name either of them. That's enough. Then you have death. Now, a lot of people read this is a more me kind of thing, where a lot of people like to use comic strips as a way of finding something comedic or attaining a significant amount of laughter from attaining laughter. That sounds so stupid. Or people generally expect a more lighthearted tone within cartoon strips, but I always prided Calvin Hobbes on the fact that it was able to extend its scope of commentary beyond just eliciting a few simple gags. Now, for example, this is one of my favorites. Calvin says, I was reading about how countless species are being pushed towards extinction by man's destruction of forests. Sometimes I think the surest sign that intelligent life exists elsewhere in the universe is that none of it has tried to contact us. So that's funny, right? But it's also an interesting commentary upon the environment. And it does so in a sense that isn't blatant or it's not necessarily too mature, but it's not entirely immature. With the most deep message I have been able to uncover within, say, Garfield or Calvin or Peanuts is Charlie being sad and John consistently failing to get a date, although he recently did get a date with Liz.
Yep.
But in any sense, I was going to talk a little bit more about the depth anyways. If anyone's ever read Calvin and Hobbes in depth, there's one story called The Raccoon Story, which is interesting in that its primary function was not to be funny, but rather it was more of a feelsy sort of story where Calvin found a raccoon, a baby raccoon that had been seriously injured, nobody knows how.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually the raccoon died at the end of the strip. And so it's interesting how Calvin Hobbes sort of steps out of its bounds as just a cartoon strip and instead chooses to convey a more powerful meanings within its strip. Now, creativity. I don't even include the other cartoon strips because they tend to include just slapstick or other such jokes of a similar nature. Calvin and Hobbes, however, I find to be extremely creative both in its use of paneling. This is another interesting Sunday panel. And also its ability to manipulate various situations that are generally similar, such as Hobbes trying to attack Calvin, which is seen a lot throughout the strip, and create enough variance between them to make it interesting every time. This is another example of creativity where you take the simple idea of sitting in a classroom and being boring for seniors. No seniors in here except you. And Sam is a senior. That feel this where they're sitting here and they daydream. And Calvin is daydreaming. And he is thinking 3 + 2
equals dinosaurs.
equals Calvin. Yeah.
Equals Calvin.
All right, now are there any questions?
Oh, wait, okay, good job.
Oh yeah, actually, I'll like talk first and then I'll ask some questions.
So is Calvin?
I didn't call him. All right. Scott.
So is Calvin smart or not? Because
Calvin-
he's not good at school, but he knows a lot.
Calvin is a misunderstood genius. He just has he's extremely intelligent. He just has a huge bank of knowledge full of incredibly useless information. I just quoted Calvin and Hobbes, by the way.
I recognize that.
Yeah, he's a progeny. If this is all going over your head, it's because I'm. All right.
So why has Bill Watterson fought the media so long to not the media, other corporations? You didn't really describe his motives for not using his characters.
His statement is that when a strip becomes obsessed with the consumer ideology, it begins to lose its quality. So he doesn't really like that sentiment. Yes.
Are you actually done this time or no?
Yeah. Oh, this is the final Calvin Hobbes comic strip. I can't look because I'll cry. Mr. Traver, did you have a question?
You mentioned peanuts, and I want to know if we're on the same wavelength here. How do you feel about peanuts?
Peanuts. The first 10 years were fine, although they had significantly worse art. Everything else is trash.
Okay. I'm
Oh
with you on the
gosh,
second part.
that is sad.
I'm pretty sure the last
Oh.
peanut strip that Charles Schulz ever drew was like the
Calvin
actual
Hobbes.
red-haired girl talking.
Calvin and
about
Hobbes is great throughout. There's like one little like it has one little dud in the middle with the uncle, but other than that,
I
think
liked the uncle.
yeah, the uncle wasn't bad, but it
Yeah.
wasn't up to the standards of Calvin and Hobbes.
Sure. And I remember the day this strip was printed. Like 1995, I was 9, and this was the saddest day of my life.
Yeah.
It was
I
when they
think the
printed this
saddest day of your
cartoon.
life was watching.
Yeah.
There was a lot of discussion of what the last strip should be in the paper at that time period.
Yeah.
And so, like, some people were saying that they should have, like, Calvin be like, "Come on, Hobbes, let's go." And he turns around and just sees, like, a little stuffed tiger, and then walks away.
Okay, that's
That
depressing.
would've
That was
broken
fan
my
made.
heart.
We do not talk about
And that,
that.
like, broke, everyone's like, "No, stop it, don't even say
No,
it."
Bill Watterson wouldn't end it like that.
That would have. Oh my
If you,
god.
well, this is just one more comment on this strip in particular. I also love that the use of negative space within Calvin Hobbes is able to be is not used without purpose. For example, you have an incredible amount of negative space here, which in any other cartoon would be a problem, but in Calvin Hobbes is able to succeed.
Do you have the complete collection?
Yes, not with me.
Obviously.
If I read nonstop, how long would it take?
I'm pretty sure the last peanut.
If I read
strip was like
nonstop, how long would it take?
A long time.
About 3 hours.
Calvin Hobbes marathon.
I
Go.
read about like
Yes.
How about Bloom County? Have you read Bloom County?
No. I have read a few.
Okay.
I don't really like it.
Everyone has their own taste. I think some of them are pretty funny, but they got kind of weird at the end.
This movie is actually really
Who else?
good
Any other
conclusion to
questions?
the entire franchise.
Yes. Once. This is my last. This is the last chance for me to rant about peanuts.
Then
Well,
do
go.
so, Rand.
Well, peanuts is trash. I
No,
mean, they
it's
use-
not.
Okay, here's the.
This is his rant, not yours.
Screw you.
Okay, here's the thing.
I'm a person too.
Peanuts is a strip entirely focused upon making fun of a sad, depressed kid named Charlie Brown. Unfortunately, I'm not a cruel person who likes to laugh at such things.
No, you're a cynical person.
I prefer laughing at lighthearted a child who is happy with his own, who might be lonely in life, but is able to at least find some amount of solace within his friends. His friend, Deb,
Do you
who
think
is
that he and Susie end up getting married? Like,
yes,
You think so?
yes.
If you
There are multiple strips expressing their childish love for each other.
Well, yeah, but, you know.
But
Yes.
then again, that's
well,
Charles' love.
and another
like,
thing is that in the complete edition
the
that my mom
Phantom.
owns, that my mother owns, there's like notes on like the bottom of each strip, and one of them was describing how Susie was based off of his wife. Because a very intelligent woman, he said, scared him, but were the most attractive things at that age for him. And that's why, as such.
Oh, there was an Argyle sweater comic that showed like what happened to characters after their strips ended, and then there was a Calvin and Hobbes where like growing up Calvin is
Calvin and
entering
Bacon.
Yeah.
The fandom has created a strip called Calvin and Bacon, which is where
I see what they did.
Calvin passed down his. Where Calvin sort of passed down Hobbes to his daughter.
And
Yeah.
and I
Are
she
Calvin's
got this from
parents
my grandmother. I
No.
swear.
I think they're good. It's just Calvin's a rough child.
And his dad can be a bit sarcastic.
I love the transmogrifier.
Bill's here.
I love the transmogrifier.
All right, is there anything else? Once, twice. Sold to Sam Lee in the back for $1 million.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Bye.